Good. So we will start by entering into a meditation, and we will do this meditation on the banks of Mother Ganga. Actually, Panihati, where Lord Nityananda will have his Abhishek, will also be in the side of Mother Ganga. So I would request you to take a little bit time to observe the picture. We are now leaving the places where we are actually residing, but mentally we are moving to another dimension, another realm, and we are going to Bengal, maybe close to Navadvip, and we are now sitting on the banks of the Ganga. We are observing very carefully the picture in front of us. The sun is about to rise. And once you have nicely observed the picture and you feel yourself there at this place, you can close your eyes. And we will now continue into our meditation. Keep seeing Mother Ganga in front of your eyes. You might from time to time see a dolphin coming up, taking air. You see the gentle waves of Yamuna that are flowing. You can hear the sound of some birds chirping. And you can smell very pleasant scent of flower that is carried by the soft breeze. Now you can offer your obeisances to Mother Ganga. You can approach Mother Ganga and take some drops on your forehead, and then take some palms of Ganga water that you respectfully and lovingly offer back to her. You can feel her divine presence, and you offer Mother Ganga some prayers. You can also remember your spiritual master and also pray to him. You can now open your eyes and see the beautiful and divine form of Lord Nityananda. We will remain into a meditation mode before we start the reading. So I will request every one of you to really picture very nicely the form of Lord Nityananda. You can see this beautiful top knot that is surrounded by pearls, the golden earring, his necklace, shoulder, flower garland that is half around the neck and had fallen with arm on the other side. Now we will have one meditation on Lord Nityananda, and maybe we could ask Jennifer if you would like to read. We will read it 3 times in a slow motion, and the third time we will close our eyes and try to visualize the picture of Nityananda together with the text of our meditation.
Nityananda continually chanted the name of Hari and shouted loudly. Seeing his tottering dancing, people were struck with wonder. Sometimes he glanced on someone while dancing. That person would fall on the ground filled with love of God and transcendental mellows. Nityananda continually chanted the name of Hari and shouted loudly. Seeing his tottering dancing, people were struck with wonder. Sometimes he glanced on someone while dancing. That person would fall on the ground, filled with love of God and transcendental
Can close your eyes.
mellows.
Then close our eyes and hear one more time.
Nityananda continually chanted the name of Hari and shouted loudly. Seeing his tottering dancing, people were struck with wonder. Sometimes he glanced on someone while dancing. That person would fall on the ground, filled with love of God and transcendental mellows.
Try to remember the verse we just heard. Try to see it in your mind's eyes. And we'll have another meditation before starting the reading. And maybe this one we could ask Nupur. You would like to read? Or maybe Divya Kishori?
Lord Nityananda invested his energies in all his chief associates. They became omniscient. Their words became perfect. They looked as beautiful as Cupid. Whomever they touched with their hands was overwhelmed with love of God and forgot everything. Lord Nityananda invested his energies in all his chief associates. They became omniscient. Their words became perfect. They looked as beautiful as Cupid. Whomever they touched with their hands was overwhelmed with love of God and forgot everything.
Please close your eyes.
Lord Nityananda invested his energies in all his chief associates. They became omniscient. Their words became perfect. They looked as beautiful as Cupid. Whomever they touched with their hands was overwhelmed with love of God and forgot everything.
We are ready for now reading. Maybe we could ask Aman if you would like to start the reading.
Krishna. O brothers, listen attentively to the topic of Antekhanda that describe the pastime of Nitai Chandra. One day, Sri Gaur Sundar, the personality of Godhead, appearing in the human form, sat alone with Nityananda. Lord Gauranga said, "Listen, magnanimous Nityanand, go immediately to Navadvip. I promised that I would drown everyone, including fools, fallens, and sinners, in the ocean of Krishna Prema. If you remain here with me as an ascetic, keeping a vow of silence and concealing your enthusiasm, who will deliver the fallen souls of this world? You are bestower of love and devotion. Please tell me, if you must always check yourself, what's the use of your incarnation? If you want to make my words true, go to Bengal at once. Deliver everyone by giving prema bhakti to all the foolish, fallen, low class, and the distressed." Instructed by Lord Gauranga, Nityananda Prabhu promptly left for Bengal with his own associate, Ramadas, Gadadhar Das, and Raghunath Vaidya, who were filled with love and devotion. Krishna Das Pandit, Parameshwar Das, and the most blissful Purandar Pandit all went with Nityananda Swarup to Bengal. As he began his journey, he first induced his associate to become ecstatic. They all forgot themselves. There was no end to the ecstatic symptoms that arose in their bodies. For example, the mood of Sri Gopal manifested in the body of Ramadas, the foremost among the Vaishnavas. On the way, Ramadas transfigured into a threefold bending form and remained unconscious for 9 hours. Gadadhar Das, absorbed in the mood of Radhika, suddenly began to laugh loudly, saying, "Who will buy yogurt?" The broad minded Raghunath Vaidya Upadhyay displayed the mood of Revati. Both Krishna Das and Parameshwar Das constantly created mischief in the mood of cowherd boys. Purandar Pandit climbed on a tree and jumped down, saying, "I am a great Angad." Nityananda Prabhu, the origin of Sri Anand, inspired everyone to revive his original mood. They walked very fast, sometimes forgetting themselves and walking in the wrong direction. They often asked the local people, "Brothers, please tell us how to reach the bank of Ganges." People would reply, "Alas, alas, you are on the wrong path. You just walked 6 hours of your journey." Getting proper direction, they would return to their original path. When they again asked for the right way, the people told them to take a 20-mile detour to reach the original path. All of them smilingly walked along the road. They did not know their own selves. What to speak of the road? None of them felt the urges of the body, such as hunger, thirst, fear, and distress. They were totally merged in bliss. No one can describe the unlimited pastimes Nityanand Prabhu did on the way of Bengal. Nityanand, the source of Sri Ananta, finally reached the village of Panihati on the bank of the Ganges. Nityanand Prabhu, along with his devotees, arrived at the house of Raghava Pandit at Panihati. Raghav Pandit was overjoyed to see Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Makardhwaj Kara who was a disciple of Raghava Pandit, also become very happy.
Thank you, Aman. Smriti, would you like to read the continuation?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Nityananda Prabhu, along with his associates, lived happily in the village of Panihati. They would roar loudly in ecstasy. Always overwhelmed by prema, he would go into a rapturous trance. When Nityananda desired to dance, three famous singers quickly assembled there. The most pious Madhava Gosha was expert in doing kirtana. There was no better singer in the world. He was known as the singer of Vrindavana and was very dear to Nityananda Swarupa. As the three brothers Madhava, Govinda, and Vasudeva began to sing, the Supreme Lord Nityananda Prabhu began to dance. When the most beautiful, powerful Avadhuta Nityananda danced, it seemed like the earth shook with every step. Nityananda continually chanted the name of Hari and shouted loudly. Seeing his tottering dancing, people were struck with wonder. Sometimes he glanced on someone while dancing. That person would fall on the ground filled with love of God and transcendental mellows. This marked the auspicious beginning of Lord Nityananda's deliverance of the fallen souls. He danced for a long time, showing all the signs of ecstatic love. After some time, he sat down on a throne and ordered his servants to give him abhisheka. All his devotees, headed by Raghava Pandita, quickly arranged the abhisheka, bringing thousands of pitchers of Ganga water mixed with various perfumes. With great satisfaction, they poured this scented water on the head of Nityananda. Everyone chanted Hari, Hari on all sides. They all recited suitable mantras while doing abhisheka and sang his glorification. All his devout associates submerged in the ocean of bliss. After abhisheka, they dressed Nityananda in new cloth and applied sandalwood paste to his body. They decorated his broad chest with beautiful flower garlands mixed with tulsi. They set a throne decorated with gold before the Lord. Lord Nityananda sat on the throne while Sri Raghavananda held an umbrella above his head. The devotees began to glorify him, and there arose a crying sound on all sides. Everyone raised their hands and exclaimed, "Save us!" They all went into a rapture of Krishna prema. Lord Nityananda, absorbed in his own blissful mood, glanced at everyone showering prema, love of God on them. Nityananda Prabhu ordered Raghava Pandita, "Please make a garland of kadamba flowers and bring it to me quickly. I'm very fond of kadamba flowers. In fact, I always reside in the forest of Kadamba." Raghavananda folded his hands and said, "Lord, it's not the season for Kadamba trees to flower." Lord Nityananda said, "Go home and look carefully. There may be a flower or two in some place." Raghava Pandita straightway went to his house. To his complete surprise, he saw something most wonderful. Beautiful Kadamba flowers blossomed on the lemon tree in his courtyard. How wonderful were the colors and fragrance of those flowers. Just seeing them frees one from material bondage. Seeing those beautiful Kadamba flowers, Raghava Pandita began to swoon in ecstasy. Controlling himself, he quickly made a garland of Kadamba flowers and brought it before Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu was very pleased and put the garland on at once. The sweet fragrance of Kadamba flowers overwhelmed the Vaishnavas, and they all felt very happy. Suddenly, the most wonderful thing happened. Everyone could smell the scent of some wonderful flowers. The enchanting aroma of Damanaka flowers filled all the 10 directions.
Thank you. Thank you. Tanu, would you like to read the continuation?
Nityananda Prabhu smilingly said, "Listen, brothers, can you tell me what you smell?" Everyone folded their hands and replied, "We smell the fragrance of wonderful flowers. The smell comes from all directions." Nityananda, out of his causeless mercy, began to explain most confidential topics. Listen to the mystery, for you must know the truth in detail. Today, Chaitanya Gosai came here from Nilachal to hear our Kirtana. He wore a garland of Damanaka flowers and sat in a tree unseen. All the four directions filled with the aroma of that wonderful garland. To see your chanting and dancing, the Lord came from Nilachal. Give up all other affairs and always sing the glories of Krishna. May all of you forever glorify Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra and be fully immersed in the ocean of Krishna Prema. Saying this, Nityanand Prabhu shouted loudly and showered love of God on all directions. Being drenched in the rain of prema, everyone swooned in ecstasy. Oh dear brothers, please hear the potency of Nityananda Prabhu and how he awarded prema bhakti to everyone in this world. By his mercy, everyone easily received the prema bhakti of the gopis of Vrindavan described in Srimad Bhagavatam. As Nityananda sat on the gold throne, all his associates continued to dance in front of him. Someone climbed a tree, walked on the leaves, and yet did not fall down. Out of ecstasy, someone shouted loudly and jumped down from a tree. Someone roared like a lion and caught the root of the tree, pulling it out of the ground while chanting, "Hari, Hari." Someone went to the forest of betel nuts and gathered 5 or 6 trees together. With immense strength, due to love of God, he uprooted them all. All the symptoms of love mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, such as shedding tears, being stunned, heavy breathing, perspiring, hair standing on end, roaring loudly, fluttering of voice, paleness, and falling unconscious were fully manifest in the bodies of everyone by the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda. In any direction, Nityananda Mahashay mercifully glanced, he showered love and devotion. Anyone Nityananda looked upon would fall unconscious due to ecstatic Krishna prema. They would try to catch hold of Nityananda Swarupa, who smiled sitting on his golden throne. Lord Nityananda invested his energies in all his chief associates. They became omniscient, their words became perfect. They looked as beautiful as Cupid. Whomever they touched with their hands was overwhelmed with love of God and forgot everything. Nityananda Prabhu lived like this in the village of Panihati for 3 months and continued his pastimes of distributing love and devotion. For 3 months, all the devotees were lost in ecstatic trance. They stopped all bodily activities and did not eat for 3 months. All they did was continuously dancing in ecstatic bliss. The blissful pastimes Nityananda Prabhu enjoyed in the village of Panihati will be described in the four Vedas. Who can describe the extent of the pastimes Lord Nityananda performed within 1.5 hours? From time to time, he would personally dance with his devotees on all sides. Sometimes he would sit down in a hero's posture and encourage all the devotees to dance. The dancing of only one of his servants flooded all surroundings with Krishna Prema. Just as banana trees fall flat by the force of a storm, so the devotees fell flat, overwhelmed by the happiness of Prema. As Lord Nityananda was personally overwhelmed by the ecstatic of God, he turned all the devotees into models of himself. He constantly engaged in the congregational chanting of the holy names of Krishna introduced by Sri Gauranga, the Mahamantra, and encouraged all the devotees to do likewise. Anyone who came to see him was overwhelmed with Krishna Prema. Such was the example of his distribution of love of Krishna. Whenever any servant of Lord Nityananda desired to have something, he would instantly get it. Everyone merged in the ocean of transcendental bliss and did not know accepting the glory of Sri Gauranga and Nityananda Bhu by Vrindavan Das, of their.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your wonderful reading. I would request now everyone to close their eyes, and we will meditate on these pastimes that we were just now reading. Can remember how in the beginning Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were meeting in Jagannath Puri, and how Lord Chaitanya was requesting Nityananda to now go to Bengal and spread love of God. See how Nityananda went with all his associates and empowered them to become ecstatic. See how they were manifesting their real identities of being gopis and gopas. See how they were constantly losing their path due to the happiness living in their hearts. Finally, they arrived at the house of Bhagava Pandit, where they offered Lord Nityananda a wonderful and beautiful abhishek. Feel how ecstatic was this ceremony. See the different liquids flowing on the beautiful body of Lord Nityananda as he smiles, looking at his devotees. Everyone was chanting Hari, Hari, while some other devotees were reciting suitable mantras. everyone was submerged in the ocean of bliss. After the Abhishek, they gave Lord Nityananda beautiful and fine new garments and applied sandalwood paste on his body. They decorated his broad chest with beautiful flower garland mixed with tulsi. Bhagavad Pandit was there, holding an umbrella over Lord Nityananda. Remember how Nityananda asked Bhagavad Pandit for a flower, for a garland of lavender flower, even though it was out of season. How Nityananda convinced Bhagavad Pandit to anyway go and see maybe one or two might be available. See Bhagavad Pandit entering his garden looking for Kadamba flowers and finding them on the lemon tree. See how Bhagavad Pandit is amazed by this miracle. He pick up those fragrant flowers, making a garland for Lord Nityananda. See Bhagavad Pandit coming back and placing that garland around the neck of Lord Nityananda. See all of them performing kirtan, dancing and singing for days without feeling any need of the body. Whoever Lord Nityananda will look at will fall unconscious with Krishna prema. Observe this beautiful dancing of the Lord and the loud singing of the devotees. Devotees are shouting, "Hurry, hurry!" Some are jumping from trees. Some dance on the branches of the tree. Now remember your spiritual master. With gratitude in our hearts for the opportunity to enter into those divine pastimes of the Lord. And offer the most humble prayer at His lotus feet. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We have prepared a little something else. There was this point was coming quite often about Lord Nityananda empowering the devotees. And we would like to share a little something about empowerment. And there I will give the voice to Bajanti.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so beautiful to hear. We saw like something out of the usual world in what we live, like miracles, like the devotees dancing and being in their spiritual identities, finding kadamba flowers on the lemon tree, and devotees uprooting tree, not eating for 3 months, so they were completely like out on a different realm. And I remember our spiritual master often he would say, when will we become part of the ecstatic being? And yes, so it's a lesson of empowerment. We saw just by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So it seems even he would just look at someone and they would fall down. So just by being in the present. So the point here we can see is that it's for every one of us, there is this opportunity of being empowered, especially Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, as we know, they don't look who is qualified and who is not qualified. The Lord wants to give. They want to touch our heart, but we need to be open and ready for that. And we remembered, we were listening from Keshava Maharaj. So because we were also thinking it's very beautiful to hear those pastimes, but also to see how practically how we can also imbibe them in our life and see if there is something we can do. And so it was bringing a point how to receive such empowerment. And this can be really relevant and practical in our life that we can try to do it. So the first point that Maharaj brings is that we have to learn to become detached. Detached, that because if you want to become what we want, to be like these ecstatic beings ourselves, and we have to be ready and willing to let go of who we are right now, and also to be detached from all our plans. We always have ideas how we should be, even how we should progress spiritually, how our life should be. So the first thing is to be detached. The second is the desire to serve, if we want to be empowered, to want to make a positive change in the world, to contribute in the life of others, to help others to grow. And as this desire becomes very strong in our heart to make a change in our life, in the life of others, then we become open to be empowered by the Lord. And the Lord will give us these opportunities because, as we know, the Lord is looking actually for those who want to be instruments of His love. The third one is to be connected with devotees. So the importance of guidance for that empowerment comes through the devotees. And the fourth is also not to be bewildered by difficulties, because as we will, so we ask for this empowerment, we try to become open, then definitely some challenges will also come. We saw also even in Srila Prabhupada when he wanted to come and share Krishna consciousness, how many challenges and difficulties were there. But by that, we show our seriousness to be empowered. And the fifth one is to always remaining dependent on the Lord. So these are 5 points that we can try to remember. And also in our daily life, we can really some or other work on them also to develop, to have this mentality shift. So to become detached, to pray and to desire to serve whoever we meet, whoever we meet, be our family and whoever, so that we can serve them and uplift them, and then be connected with the devotees, asking for guidance, and then not to be bewildered by difficulties that come on our ways. So in this way, we can also expect miracles And especially also now the festival of Lord Nityananda is coming, and we can again also take the opportunity, especially now in these days coming closer and closer, and the day of the appearance of Lord Nityananda, where Lord Nityananda, that is already extremely merciful, is even more merciful. So really prepare our heart, and already you can already start to meditate what prayers I would like to offer to Lord Nityananda, not being prepared. So no, prepare yourself very well to know what is the prayer. And I was thinking in those days, we were also listening some lecture, preparing for the appearance of Lord Nityananda. Yes, to really wish, okay, this year I will receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda. There is possibilities. I will try and prepare what is our prayer. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining. I thought that on Nityananda's appearance day, I will make a garland of canaba flower for Lord Nityananda. I will check lemon trees and apple trees of Golokadam to see if I find something there. If not, I will do it in my mind. I will make a garland for Lord Nityananda in my mind and offer it in my consciousness. And I think when we will be in Kirtan, I will hope to get a glance of Lord Nityananda somehow or other and receive this transcendental Prema Bhakti that Lord Nityananda is distributing so gracefully to everyone. I think this is one point I found very interesting, because in the beginning, Lord Chaitanya requests Lord Nityananda to go and spread love of God. And we can see that he has a very particular way of doing so, Lord Nityananda, constantly chanting the holy name, dancing, and because of his prema bhakti, he's giving that to others. It's actually contagious. And I was thinking also our attempt to spread Krishna consciousness, how important it is that our experience of Krishna consciousness is genuine and deep, because as much we will have this loving feelings in our hearts, as much we will be able to actually inspire others to take up the process of Krishna consciousness. So those are some thoughts I had from today's actually can stop sharing. From today's reading. I also noticed that very often there was the case that devotee forgot everything else. And when they fell unconscious or when they were touched by the hand of the Lord, they were forgetting everything else. And I was thinking, wow, I'm just so full of everything else in my life. It will be so good to actually forget everything else and just be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So those were some thoughts. We will be happy before we end the session. If you also have something you take with you from this session that you might like to share with the group. Shri Hari Govinda, you always have very beautiful insights. Maybe you like to share something with us.
Hare Krishna. Sorry I was a little late and a little cold I have. But I was just reading something yesterday, actually even last year, in Charitamrita in the 5th chapter, where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu appear together. It's like seeing the sun and the moon at the same time. In general, you don't see the sun and the moon only in twilight or so. And seeing them together, it's like, oh, it's so bright, and they bring not just illumination, but they illuminate also the heart and destroy all negative and material desires. When I hear about this talk, I think about and meditate, and I find that very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Okay, then we will stop here for today. We wish you a wonderful Nityananda's appearance day, and hopefully something from this session might stay in you, some vision of what you have heard might stay with you, and wishing you all the best and see you at next opportunity. Lord Nityananda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.